Well, I'm a trader, not a tech guy, apparently. Let's see, how's my volume? Volume looks good. Can't hear myself at all. Am I plugged in? Is this on? Tough times. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright, we'll make this quick. Interesting day, interesting day. Let's see. Well, if you follow me on Twitter at Krycopter, I was talking about doing, for the first time ever, shorting calls on an earnings play, and I think we missed our oppo because SMCI Supercomputer pre-announced 2 Fridays ago. Remember when it was up like $124 in a day? That wasn't random. That wasn't just a short squeeze. They pre-announced their earnings. They pre-announced, which sent it up from, where was it? It was like 300 to 420, I think it closed. So they pre-announced, already knew, but their official earnings date was today, and it's up $50 after hours. But again, it was up 120 on a pre-announce, and now it's only up 50 because most of this is already priced in. I wanted to short the 600 calls, and this morning, looks like someone did because there's 8,000 traded there today. This morning it was at 577. That's when I was looking at it, and I just didn't do it. I wanted to wait till the end of the day and then kind of see where things are at, but they clearly smashed premiums most of the day because those closed at 320 on a late pop. That was basically 590 was the high, and they just kind of sold them off all day into about 12:30 and then popped them $1. They got down to $2. If those stayed at 5 at the end of the day, I probably would have taken them. Ideally, I was looking for like 6 or 7, but then I just didn't. They crushed the IV too much throughout the day, and I just didn't trust it anymore. I don't trust. The thing about shorting calls or puts is that your upside's limited and your downside's unlimited. I mean, a call can. I mean, you saw it when this thing pre-announced. The calls went from, some of them were 1 cent, closed at $16. That's a shit ton of money if you're short one at even called $1. That's what, $1,500 per contract. So if you short a call or a put, your upside is what you sold it at. So if I sold one of these at 600, my maximum gain is $600 per contract. My maximum loss is, who knows? What if this thing was up $200? I would have been cooked. So that's kind of why I liked it, for the reason that it pre-announced. So most of this was baked in, regardless of what they were going to say today. But I don't know. I just didn't trust it because they got too cheap throughout the day. Anyways, the thought was good. The analysis was good. It looks like it would have worked, but again, made $3. I mean, I don't know, that risk reward just isn't there for me. $6, $7, okay, fine. That might be a little more appealing, because the other thing you can do is after hours. If this thing just started screaming higher, right? You can limit your downside and buy. You can buy shares, so to kind of cover your position. So if things were getting out of hand, instead of having those things open $20 in your face, you just start buying the stock up. Expensive, very expensive to do, but there is a way to what's the word I'm looking for? Mediate risk on that. Anyways, didn't do it, so who cares? But this thing, now they're really going to smash IV because the earnings is out officially. So we'll keep an eye on this tomorrow. Can you see it now? I haven't recharted this thing in a while, and these numbers are just good. That was at 429. Look at that. That was that Friday where it just said, we'll pre-announce and just catch everybody flipping off guard. After flipping sold off for 5 straight days. Yeah, this game sucks, but it's awesome at the same time. And then the high today was 550.97. That's my number. High 550. So at 97 cents away, and dropped $18, $22 from there. Numbers are good. Anyways, so we'll see how that kind of shakes up. Looks like another little breakout here today. Anything over 500 is good. 590, 97 is another breakout, which will add another $20 to it. It's a monster name, a huge growth name. Upset with myself that I wasn't in it when it rallied $120. But whatever. So keep an eye on this one early tomorrow. Another name we'll talk about briefly. CLF Cliffs, Cleveland Cliffs. They renamed themselves. It's iron ore company. I think they bought. I forget who they bought. AKS steel company. Not the point. This thing is just. I love their CEO. Is just like the biggest baller of all time. 2020 got down to $3. I bought this thing. The first time I ever traded it was even longer ago. I think they should have more data. When was this? 17? 20? I don't think it was. It wasn't the COVID. It was somewhere back here in the 2016s or something. It tanked to like $2, and I loaded shares heavily. I also bought their bonds. They're trading at $47, I think. Par is $100, so anything over the yield on the note effectively goes lower. And if they're trading under 100, the yield on the note goes higher. So I think at one point it was like a 6.5. I forget the 2014s. Let's see if I can pull it up. I don't know if I remember. AK Steel. That's why I think they bought bonds. It was the 2040s. Yes, the year 2040. I think it was this one. Yes, 6.25. So 2024, or sorry, October 2040. So what's that? They're 15 years, 16 years from now. That was this bond. Why is it showing me? I pulled up a weird. So this is the yield, effective yield on it. So the note was written for 6.25%. So I think this chart's showing me what the current yield is, effectively based on the price. The current price is $88.46. Again, par is 100. So anything lower than 100 will actually kind of increase because you're basically buying the bond for 88 cents, even though the bond was originally issued at 100, if that makes sense. So if the price goes down, effectively you're getting better yield. This thing, let's see if we can see it. No, see, they stopped in 23 too. This thing got up to like 15%. I still own some, which is great. Effective yield there. It locks you in at whatever price you bought. It was like $46 or something. Oh, I gotta look at that account. It's a different account. I don't look at it all the time. Anyways, I didn't mean to get into a long story about Cliffs. But they announced after hours. I didn't even look yet, but the stock is down. This is exactly what it does every time. So far, so good. Regardless of how good it was or how bad it was, they sell it off. And tomorrow morning, ideally, they'll dump it for the first 15 minutes, 15, maybe a half hour. You'll see the turn. It'll be big volume. It'll turn, and then it'll just rally $1.50. And when that happens, you'll be able to catch... Let's see. Should be able to catch this thing for a nice move. And when I say nice move, I mean like you can buy, what's it trading at now? 1840 currently. So it'll probably open around here. Maybe she'll dump to 18. Oh, I got to chart this one. So if it dumps like $18, that's a nice move. Oh, look, sitting right at support. How convenient. I mean, if they break it to 1730, that'd be ideal. And then they'll rally it back to 1830, maybe higher. Well, I'll keep you posted tomorrow. I'll be live. I'll be tweeting about it. and I'll let you know if I get in any of them. But ideally, we're talking like 10 cents to 70 cents. So buy 100 of them. It's 1,000. If he gets to 70 cents, then that's 7,000. Not a bad return. I think they kind of beat this thing up. This thing is just, their CEO is just a baller. He turned this thing was on the brink of death, in debt up the wazoo, and he just brought it back from complete death. I love him. So I'll keep an eye on this one tomorrow. Cleveland Cliffs CLF. That's my only focus in the morning tomorrow. I'll just pop now because I talk about it all the time. This fucking name sucks. I hate it. I'm taking it off my screen forever. But it looks like they might be coming after SAS finally, but we'll see. Every time I think they're going to, they don't. They have one day and then they just slowly bleed back down. So I'd avoid for now, but what was the other one I want to talk about? Tesla. People are funny, you know. Like there's nothing real appealing about this chart at all. Slightly oversold today, basically brought it back. I don't do RSI much, but now I just have it up just for fun. I mean, this thing's basically in the RSI's in the 30 on the daily. That's not oversold even. So the thing is, this thing's down what, almost $100 since Christmas. It rallies $8 and everybody's like, Tesla's up huge today. It's like down 100, up 7, up 8 is not bullish. This thing's got a lot of work to do. I mean, is this a little blow off? I don't know, maybe. It's got to get over 197 and then 207. And then we're back into like a big volume range here. No, it's got a lot of work to do. And they're just, I don't know. I love Elon, but what was it? Like Beamer's now got robot. They're going to have robots working in their auto factory, and they're not Tesla bots. I just don't get how it's like he's always a little bit late with all of his stuff, but people think that they're leading, and I don't see it. I have a Lincoln Corsair, and that thing drives itself. It's a Lincoln. I mean, take it for what you want, but I still think that this goes to below 100 at some point, sooner rather than later. So that's Tesla. ENVX, look at this base that this baby's putting up. Look at these cell programs. This thing, I think they're just tightening the coil. They're just tightening the coil on this thing, and they're going to drop some news. Their Malaysia plant's being reassembled. Assembled for the first time. They shipped all the parts over there. They're going to assemble it now and then start sending samples out to customers. And if everything goes well there, I'm thinking like April, May, this thing's all of a sudden just going to be like 15 plus with a heavy bid, and then all of a sudden it's going to be like 25 and then 40. I think by the end of the year, this thing is at least 3x where it is from now. And I think in 2 years, this thing, again, they got a lot of work to do. They got a lot of milestones to hit. But if they do it, this thing's explosive. All right, I'm running a little long already because I tend to ramble. But I was looking at, for ENVX, you can go out. Y'all are going to think I'm crazy for this one. The Jan 16, 2026. So 700 plus days away. You can buy anyone on this chain for pretty cheap. The $20 are 260. What they last trade today? 272. I think that's pretty flippin' cheap for 700-day hold and the potential that this company has. I would say the 25s, but there's so much open interest in these that's going to be very difficult. 46,000 of the 20s, 17 of the 22s and halves, 50 of the 40s. If you go to the 25s, Jan 25s, so you have a little bit less than a year, I would go way lower, 15. I would buy the 15s maybe. But I want the full year. 2 full years. And if I'm right, these 30s or these 20s will go to $39 from 270. At least, if I'm right. I like the trade. I like the stock. Is that what he says? I forget. Anyways, that's the NVX. I love that name. That's my. I keep adding to that one. Rum gearing back up. If it breaks through these old highs here and the 200-day, which is at 693. I think this thing goes back to 10 in relatively quick fashion. Oh, people are trying to short this thing a buck lower than the high fives. Like, again, it's a growth company. They just signed on Barstool, and I know everybody on FinTwit hates Portnoy for some reason. I don't know if you're taking advice from a rich guy who started a sports company, taking financial advice from him. That's on you anyways. He's just having fun. Let him do his thing. But your upside is what? It's like $5-6, and your downside is a lot more than that. Just there's better names to short. You should have shorted Tesla at $200 ago. That's a short. Shorting a growth company at $5 is not the right move, in my opinion. I'm also keeping an eye on my old bud ISRG. I love it. But this one's gearing back up 3 days after earnings, which had that big reversal. Why did it have that? Probably because it was on a huge run. But this thing could be back up to 400 relatively quickly. Options are still kind of expensive, so we'll just keep an eye on it. All right, that's it for today. Oh, Bitcoin. Hell of a bounce in Bitcoin, huh? Everything curled right when it needed to. So we'll see. This is going to be interesting. If it gets back through highs, I mean, this thing will scream. If it gets rejected, I mean, this is kind of a big spot here. This 44,000. Is it a retest or is it the real thing? I don't know. We'll find out. But everything's lined up for this thing to test those highs again. If it rejects, then same numbers. Same numbers. All right, follow me on Twitter. It's not financial advice. It's my personal blog. I love you very much. Follow me on Twitter, Krycopter, Krypotcer.